Good morning. I would like to welcome you on behalf of the graduating class of 2016. There are a number of dignitaries here today for NCSSM's 35th commencement, whom I would like to briefly introduce. Please hold your applause until all have been recognized. NCSSM Chancellor Todd Roberts, Commencement Speaker Maya Ajamera, Chair NCSSM Board of Trustees Tom Williams, UNC Board of Governors member Joe Knott, Vice Chancellor for Academic Programs Katie O'Connor, Dean of Counseling Gail Hudson, Director of Admissions Latita Mason, NCSSM Executive Director John Frederick, representing NC State University Catherine Stewart, Board of Trustees members Marjorie Bimbo, Jabbar Bennett, Paula Benson, Steve Griffin, Hugh Holston, Colin Larson, Tom Looney, Bobby Maynor, Minnie Mattal, Foundation Board member Henry Kuo, Division Administrators Robert Allen, Melissa Tebow, Katie Wagstaff, Brock Winslow, Legal Counsel Mike Delafield, Registrar Kathleen Allen, Director of the Library Robin Bolts, Director of Institutional Research Jeff Coltrane, Director of Athletics Greg Jarvis, Academic Deans Jamie Lathan, Elizabeth Moose, Amy Scheck, Ursula Sims, Faculty Senate President Ashton Powell, Staff Council President Crystal Woods, Alumni Board Vice President Kim Lott, Parent Council Chair Kamala Hayward-Rotimi. Thank you.
Good morning. Families, friends, and faculty and staff, students, members of the Board of Trustees, the Board of Governors, Foundation Board, Alumni Board, Parent Association, and Ms. Ajmera, and honored guests, and most importantly, members of the class of 2016, welcome. Before we continue, I'd like to just take a moment to recognize all of the members of our facilities team here at NCSSM for transforming this lawn into a beautiful setting for today's commencement, and to all of our faculty and staff who have worked so hard to plan today's event. Preparing to make this day special for all of you is a monumental task, and we thank you so much for your work. I'd like to thank Ms. Ajmera for speaking today. As an alumna of NCSSM, her story is one that should inspire each of you sitting here today, about to begin the next chapter of your lives. She has accomplished much in her career and has always done so with service to others in mind. Thank you, Maya, for being with us today. Parents and families, I know you're filled with a great sense of pride today, and well, you should be. I want to take this time to thank you for sharing your son or daughter, sister or brother with us over the past 2 years. And graduates, we are all here today with a feeling of great pride. I know our faculty and staff are proud to have had an opportunity to get to know and work with you, and it has truly been an honor and a pleasure for me. Members of the class of 2016, graduating from high school marks one of the major milestones in your young lives. It's a long road from preschool to today. It's often said it's not where you've been that's important, but where you're going. And that's true, but I often think we look forward without stopping to appreciate where we have been, and in doing so, forget what and who helped us to get to where we are. I encourage you as you prepare to receive your diploma to reflect back on what it took for you to be here today. I'm sure that you can remember times that were wonderful and times that were challenging. I hope you remember those who have helped make this day possible for you. I hope you've all or will take a little time to reflect back on 2 years ago on move-in day. You came to Durham from all over the state, from 78 different counties. Many of you had dreamed about that day since 6th grade. You could not wait to finally be on your own. That second week, some of you may have been a little homesick, and as the first extended weekend arrived, a few of you might have been saying to yourselves, "What the heck was I thinking?" But here we are, 2 years later, and there you sit in your cap and gown about to walk across this stage, a graduate of NCSSM. How time flies. I hope you're very proud of how much you've accomplished in these 2 years, and better to this point in your life. Today is a time to celebrate what you have accomplished, whether in the classroom, in academic competitions, in research, in athletics, or serving the community and helping others. The class of 2016 has accomplished much. Honors at major academic competitions, so many, in fact, it took us 177 slides to cover them all in the award ceremony earlier this week, and thank you for your patience. Outstanding performances on the field and court, including state championships in cross country and tennis this year. Doing more than 25,000 hours of community service in your local communities and here in the Durham community, and earning more than $16 million in scholarship offers. And this is certainly not an exhaustive list of all you've achieved. However, while accomplishments are often recognized with medals, trophies, and records, it is not those things that you will take with you wherever you go. It's what you've done and those things that you have learned. It's who you are that you will carry with you to the many new places you will go. Things such as your caring for, collaborating with, and supporting each other, your ability to struggle and fight through challenges. In particular, I have been so impressed by the resilience of this class. We often hear people talk about these days the word grit, the trait that allows people to persevere in the face of challenges and rise above those challenges to achieve success. So many of you have shown this and are here today because you have. It is these things you have learned and lived that will continue to serve you well the rest of your life. When people ask me what's special about NCSSM, one of the things I always mention is the campus community. The NCSSM community is a place you help create, a place where you feel you belong, a place where you make others feel they belong, and a place where you all collectively make each other better than you might have been on your own. These are the memories of the class of 2016 that I will carry with me. As you leave NCSSM, I encourage you to take this spirit, this way of being with you, and please share with others. There's a lot of what you have that is needed wherever you will go. Each graduate here today owes a great deal not only to your classmates, but to the many others who are here celebrating your accomplishment. I'd like to recognize those who've helped you along the way. To the parents, guardians, family members, and friends who've nurtured and supported these graduates, thank you for the love and support that you've shown. I know it's not easy to let your son or daughter leave home to go to school, in some cases several hours away and 2 years early, but I know you're so proud of them today, so thank you for your support. To the teachers, counselors, administrators, and staff who've contributed in so many ways to the success of each graduate here today, thank you for your work and caring. Along with the student support of one another, it is your talent as teachers, your mentorship, your hard work, and your support and caring that helps create a living and learning community where our students can truly accept the greater challenge. And finally, I want to take this opportunity to recognize a couple of people who are leaving us this year and who've been so important to these students and many others at NCSSM for many years. Gail Hudson, Kevin Cromwell, Cora Wiley. Between these three folks, they have more than 60 years of service to NCSSM. And I want to thank you all for all you've done to help shape NCSSM and positively impact the lives of so many students over the years. You'll be greatly missed. So again, I want to welcome all of you on this gorgeous morning as we celebrate the class of 2016, including all of our family and friends from across the country and the world watching on our live stream feed. This is truly a great day. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the podium Governor Joe Knott to bring greetings from the UNC Board of Governors. And thank you so much, Mr. Knott, for being with us here today.
I just want to drink in this scene. It is such a beautiful scene. But before I begin, Chairman Williams, members of this enthusiastic Board of Trustees, I've never seen a more enthusiastic board than the one you have. Chancellor Roberts, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, mothers and fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, brothers and sisters, the entire family of the North Carolina School of Science and Math, I am honored to bring greetings from the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina. For those of you guests who don't know, the Board of Governors is responsible for the stewardship of 17 institutions which comprise the great University of North Carolina, and this is one of them. Even though it's not a university, it's not a college, it is one of our proudest institutions. A great high school nurturing some of the most gifted students that we have in this great state. So I bring you greetings from the Board of Governors and from the President of the University, Margaret Spellings. We have a Margaret Spellings fan. Thank you. For more than 30 years, this school has nurtured the extraordinarily gifted students from all across the state. It is a marvelous experiment in education, and it has already paid marvelous dividends. You are extraordinarily gifted naturally, and you're also extraordinarily fortunate to have this opportunity to come together, be exposed to each other, and to be exposed to some of the best teachers that we can collect from all across the country to come and help you hone the gifts that you have been given. It's a little ironic that I'm here giving a talk at the School of Math and Science because I'm a lawyer. And I have spent my entire academic career assiduously avoiding math and science. So I recognize you as my academic superiors, and I am proud of you. Today is a day of celebration. You're marking a milestone. This is perhaps the first great academic milestone you will reach. It is not the last. But don't forget us. This is where it began. You are all going in different directions, and never again will this group of students be together again. You're going in different places, but the tools you received here will help you, and there have been many who have helped you. One of our state's politicians used to say, when you see a turtle sitting on a fence post, you know he didn't get there by himself. Not to say that you're turtles, but you didn't get here by yourselves. Many people, your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your faculty, your staff here, have all contributed. And as a member of the Board of Governors, one of my duties is to honor extraordinary faculty members at our institutions. The Board of Governors has selected one of yours as a teacher of excellence, and he gets a stipend, and he gets a medallion, and he is honored in a ceremony like this. However, this year's selection, Mr. Philip A. Rash, math teacher. Do you know him? Do you know him? Does he deserve it? Does he deserve this? We thought he did, and we thought you would agree. Mr. Philip A. Rash is this year's chosen faculty of excellence. And he is not here to receive his award because he is excellent. He is taking some of your classmates to Singapore for an international math competition And they should be arriving now. This is like the Masters golf tournament, except it's for math people. It's by invitation only. You can only be invited, and students from schools around the world are in Singapore competing as to who can solve these incomprehensible math problems. And Mr. Rash is the coach. He's the teacher. He's the leader of that group. So congratulations, Mr. Rash. Let me close. Back to the moment. You're gifted. Everyone knows that. You've been given many advantages. Everybody knows that. My only word of warning to you as an old man who has been a high school graduate, who's had several other graduations. I've been a student, and I've seen my daughters and sons graduate. And now as a grandparent, I see my grandchildren coming along. Looking back, I can see in many of you great abilities, and your temptation, one of your greatest temptations will be to rest on your laurels because you're so gifted, so talented. You, on idle, can pass right by most of your contemporaries. Don't live your life on idle. Work hard and develop these marvelous gifts you've had. Thank you very much from the Board of Governors.
Good morning. As we consider each of our graduates honor students and do not rank or determine a valedictorian, the student speaker for every NCSSM commencement is chosen by an essay competition that is open to all seniors and judged anonymously by a school-wide committee under the sponsorship of academic programs. This year's speaker is Rachel Gopachan. She was born and raised in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and before attending the North Carolina School of Science and Math, she attended Jacksonville High School. Her parents are joining us today in the audience, along with her younger siblings, Chelsea and Alexander. Her grandmother is unable to be with us in person, and she is joining us via the live stream broadcast. Rachel will be attending the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in the fall. She plans to major in biology and become a reconstructive surgeon. I'm so proud of Rachel for already thinking about how she can give back to NCSSM. She plans to start giving back with her talent and time in the NCSSM mentorship program when she becomes a medical professional. Every interaction with Rachel includes a sense of happiness and joy. Rachel looks for the best in people, and that's a quality that takes maturity and optimism. Please join me in welcoming your class of 2016 student speaker, Rachel Gopachan.
Hi. I would like to take a moment to dedicate this speech to my wonderful parents. You're the reason I stand here today and truly are my inspiration. I love you, Mom and Dad. As I reflect back on my 2 short years here at NCSSM, I think about all of the lessons that I've learned while I've lived here. Well, I've mastered the skills that allow me to identify covalent bonds, and I've been taught how to craft the perfect argumentative thesis. The most important lessons I've been taught weren't necessarily sitting behind a desk, listening to a lecture, and taking notes from a dusty chalkboard. My love for learning has exponentially flourished due to the passion that my teachers brought to class every day. In American Studies, my understanding of the time period was solidified when my teacher came to class in the typical apparel of a 1950s housewife. In AP Stats, I learned the importance of randomizing data by throwing paper helicopters off the top of the building instead of reading page after page in a decade-old textbook. In Classical Genetics, square dances, not PowerPoint slides, taught me the function of Punnett squares. But even beyond the classroom lessons, I've never had teachers who believe in every single one of their students' abilities, even when we ourselves are at our own extremes of discouragement. Weeknights spent at tutorial, meetings during free blocks, and Saturday morning exam review sessions built me up as a confident student with the assistance of the teachers who led them, pouring their heart and soul into the teaching and the success of their students. But while classroom time is the principal reason we were enrolled here, it's the hours outside of class that taught me lessons of equal importance. If you ask me about my scariest day as a teenager, I'll tell you it was the day I had to call home and tell my dad, the same person who trained me for math counts in middle school, that I failed my first pre-calculus test. Let's just say I learned how to study very effectively and very quickly. Besides academic experience, I've learned many lifetime lessons as well. I've learned that yes, the fries in the cafeteria have calories, and no, just because you're not a freshman doesn't mean that you're immune to the freshman 15. I've learned that yes, pulling an all-nighter on the weekend so you can walk to Bojangles at 6 in the morning is not the smartest idea, but the memories that come from those 48 hours will be worth every sleep-deprived moment. I've learned that yes, while you'll miss your friends back home immensely, this does not mean you won't be able to make even better ones here. I've learned that the people you meet here are unlike any other. The people you blanket surf with down the hallway after in-room are the same ones you'll see walk across the stage at DECA Nationals. The girls you do mud masks with before prom while singing Beyonce are the same ones who are winning scholarship after prestigious scholarship. The goalie that you cheer on until your lungs give out is the same person you'll probably see at an Ivy for the next 8 years. During my time here, I've had the honor of going to dances with Siemens finalists, traveling abroad with Conrad scholars, and finding my best friend in an ECU biology STEM scholar. And no matter how many Kanye albums we blast, or how many times we talk about our passions outside of school, we can't help that we will always carry the title of nerd to anyone outside of our class. After all, what do you expect when your diploma is from the North Carolina School of Science and Math? But I think it's safe to say that this class is full of the most amazing nerds you'll ever meet. So, to the class of 2016, embrace the nerd, own it. It's perhaps the most important title you'll carry throughout your life as an alumnus, as it brings you back to your roots here as an NCSSM student. And while it's been a great 2 years, this is only the beginning. Congratulations, we did it.
Today we are honored to have a commencement speaker who has spent her whole life supporting and nurturing students like us who have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge. As the president and CEO of the Society for Science and the Public and the publisher of the award-winning Science News magazine, she works constantly to provide and promote a broader and more powerful understanding of science and how essential it is in all of our lives. Starting in 1993, she founded the Global Fund for Children, or GFC, which serves as a nonprofit organization whose goal was to support other organizations working with the most impoverished and vulnerable children of the world. For 18 years, she worked with GFC, growing it from a small group to a massive behemoth that has given over $38 million to organizations over 80 different countries and affecting over 10 million children. She is also an award-winning children's book author with over 20 titles, reaching nearly 5 million readers. She's a graduate of Bryn Mawr College and later the Sanford School of Public Policy at Duke University. Serves as an integral member of the NCSSM Board of Trustees, and with her work continues to this day to touch the lives of each and every student that walks through these halls. At this point, it gives me great joy to invite our 2016 commencement speaker to come up. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Maya Ajmera.
To Chancellor Roberts, the Board of Trustees, faculty and staff, families and friends, but most importantly, the graduates, I'm so honored to be your 2016 commencement speaker. This morning, we recognize what you've accomplished. You are high school graduates. You are graduating from one of the most challenging and formative high schools in the United States. This is no small order, and so let's everyone give a big round of applause to the class of 2016. I sat in your seat many years ago, excited by the simple fact that I had made it through NCSSM and was well on my way to what I thought at the time would be a challenging career as a doctor and clinical scientist. I knew I was set with the path I had laid out before me. I was on my way to Bryn Mawr College, an institution that produced great women, scientists, and doctors. I am the daughter of Indian immigrants, a physicist, and a business entrepreneur. I was brought up in the eastern part of North Carolina, Greenville, a great place to grow up and a place I still consider home. I still have cravings for the great barbecue from Parker's. My childhood was filled with devouring books from Shepherd Memorial Library, going to public school with dedicated teachers, and later on having the wonderful opportunity to work in a botany lab at East Carolina University under an incredible mentor, Dr. Pram Sagal, whose son Ishan actually was in the first graduating class at NCSSM. With my science project, studying the growth of duckweeds, I became a science fair junkie. But during my time at NCSSM, I had participated in the mentorship program and conducted research in the microbiology department at Duke University. I competed in what was then called the Westinghouse Science Talent Search and was honored as one of the top 300 young scientists in the United States. In college, I majored in biology with a concentration in neuroscience, and my senior thesis was published in brain research. Yes, I was set to go down the path of pursuing an MD PhD. This was my destiny. After I graduated from Bryn Mawr, I was awarded a Rotary Graduate Fellowship. It was an unbelievable opportunity to travel. Several professors and Rotarians told me, if you really want to understand people and understand their aspirations, get a backpack and start traveling for the year. I did that. I traveled from Thailand to Pakistan. And what I saw there that year, what I learned and what I felt changed all my plans. The path became less clear. While traveling in India, I stepped onto a bustling train platform in Bhubaneswar, a major city in the Northeast. In one corner of the platform was a circle of children, perhaps 40 or so, learning to read and write. A teacher held up flashcards with letters and numbers, and the children laughed and shouted their responses. These young people were completely engaged and excited, and I became mesmerized. The children were young, maybe 6 or 7 years old, some baby siblings in tow. All of them were so focused on their lessons that the chaos, the noise, and bustle of the train platform did not seem to bother them. They were in their own space, their own world, enchanted by the simple thrill of learning. After the lesson, I approached the teacher and asked her what was going on, and she explained that the children lived on and around the train platform. They worked, they slept, they begged, they played on the train platform, but they did not go to school. And on the train platform, these children were not seen by the thousands of passengers running to catch a train, stepping around them, or looking the other way. But one teacher, Inderjeet Khurana, did see them, and she brought the school to the children. She was the founder of the train platform school of Ruchika. The teacher went on to explain that the school not only taught the children, but also fed and clothed them. Perhaps most importantly, it instilled in them a sense of self-worth. I asked, what does it cost to run a train platform school? And at the time, it cost about $500 a year to educate 50 kids with 2 teachers for a year. Wow. I thought, that's not a lot of money. Throughout my travels in South Asia that year, I had seen glimpses of local innovation, people in their own backyards finding things that work to improve the lives of people in need. I had been intrigued by this creativity and resourcefulness, but to this point, I had only regarded it conceptually. And on the Bhubaneswar train platform, though, the concept became real. I'd had no coursework or exposure to international development. Still, I was fascinated, and I kept asking myself 2 questions. Why aren't there other platform schools at other train stations across India? And quite simply, how can I help? This became my moment of obligation. And with it, everything changed. When I came back to the United States, I put off medical school, much to the disappointment of my parents, went to the Sanford School of Public Policy at Duke for my graduate degree, and founded the Global Fund for Children with $25,000 in seed capital to get me going the first year. Instead of becoming a doctor, I discovered I had become a social entrepreneur. The journey at times was very hard. I made mistakes, but learned from them. At the beginning, I was quite despondent because some people were naysayers. I will never forget when a professor I admired greatly threw my proposal for the Global Fund for Children across his office and said, "This will never work." I will never forget that moment, and I almost quit. But another professor said, "You can do this, and this is a great idea." It made all the difference, and I kept going. Making small investments in innovative community-based organizations working with the most marginalized young people in the world, the Global Fund for Children's very first investment in 1997 was to Ruchika, the organization that runs the Trained Platform Schools. I came to see that most of these remarkable community-based groups were undervalued and undercapitalized, and that small amounts of capital for innovative grassroots groups goes a long way. The Global Fund for Children's model gained traction through the years, and as it did so, I came to realize more fully the plight of children throughout the world. The stories attendant with every organization that GFC identified as its partners underscored the despair that visits the lives of too many children, whether it was educating AIDS orphans in Uganda, or teaching girls in secret homeschools in Afghanistan, or reaching children on Bangladeshi waterways with solar-powered boat schools. We were reaching them, and I was filled with hallucinogenic optimism. Today, GFC has invested nearly $40 million in more than 600 innovative community-based organizations in nearly 80 countries, touching the lives of over 10 million children. Thank you. So after 16 years of leading the Global Fund for Children, I began to think about the future. I could see myself leading GFC forever. This was my path, after all. But there was something more. Something else was tugging at me. I was not sure what it was, so I decided to hand the reins over at GFC. Some people were aghast. "What will you do? Are you sure about this?" I was comfortable with the ambiguity of not knowing what was next. I explored once again for the next 3 years, and during that time, I wrote a book entitled Invisible Children, which will be published next month by Palgrave Macmillan, taught at Johns Hopkins and Duke, and I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. And then something really interesting happened. I was presented the amazing opportunity to lead the Society for Science and the Public, an organization founded in 1921 by E.W. Scripps and William Ritter to promote the understanding and appreciation of science and the vital role it plays in human advancement. It is best known for its award-winning magazine, Science News, and its world-renowned science competitions, including Broadcom Masters, the Regeneron Science Talent Search, and the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair. I am proud to say that many of you and NCSSM alumni, including myself, have competed in these prestigious competitions and have won great accolades. But only a few weeks ago, I met several of you at the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair, and you all rocked. When I got the call to join the society, I was like, wow. I think some people scratched their heads and said, huh? My profile in many ways did not fit the conventional image of a CEO leading a scientific institution. My career to that point had been removed from laboratory science and the scientific community for nearly 20 years, for the exception of being a trustee of NCSSM. A mentor said to me, "I am not surprised. Your early scientific background and training and your experience building and sustaining the Global Fund for Children has brought you to this point. I believe that my grounding in the basic sciences provided me the essential building blocks to be a critical thinker. For example, science enables us to find a cure for disease, but the same processes of observation and deduction that allow an immunologist to study a disease may also enable a sociologist to address the social and cultural conditions such as poverty and malnutrition that allow that disease to thrive. I don't know how much you know about Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, but when he attended Reed College, he decided to drop in on a calligraphy class. At the time, he remarked, did not really serve a purpose except that it was incredibly interesting. Later on, that calligraphy class actually influenced him a lot. He created the most beautiful typography in the Apple devices. As Mr. Jobs has said, you wouldn't have known that that calligraphy class would have had any influence at all because it is hard to connect the dots looking forward, but it's easy to connect them looking backwards. So as I stand here today as the president and CEO of the Society for Science and the Public, I can connect the dots looking backwards. I have come full circle. So do not dismiss any course or any experience. Be open to the world around you because you never know how it will influence your trajectory in life. There are so many paths to take. So here are a few things to remember as you embark on your journey after NCSSM. Number one, surround yourself with people who believe in you. Stay away from people who suck the energy and passion out of you or who are constantly naysayers. Stay away from them. Do not confuse this advice with helpful mentors who ask you tough questions to guide your thinking. There is a big difference. Embrace diversity and change. Be aware and open to all people and their cultures and beliefs. Don't be afraid when change makes you uncomfortable. Surround yourself with people with diverse points of view. Your scientific training has prepared you for this. When an experiment does not work, it's how we get answers. It pushes us to think differently about a problem. Don't be afraid of failure. They are learning opportunities. Collaborations across diverse disciplines and methodologies are no longer a rarity, as many realize that knowledge is most easily created through cross-pollination and is rarely housed in self-contained silos. Collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. And similar to the rise in collaboration, networks, the formal and sometimes informal association of individuals and organizations with common goals, have become increasingly important. Knowledge may be created through collaborations, but it is often shared now through networks. Your degree today from NCSSM makes you part of a very special and prestigious network. NCSSM alumni have pursued their work at the highest levels and in almost every corner of the globe. Our alumni work in the leading tech companies, including Google and Microsoft. They pursue research at some of the world's greatest universities and institutions, and they publish in the most highly regarded journals. They are entrepreneurs founding innovative companies and employing a great number of people in North Carolina and across the country. Our alumni are a ready source for information, for advice, and for collaboration. This network is now yours. Consider it your extended family. I will never forget when I came to speak to students here over 14 years ago, one young woman cornered me and said, "I want to come intern at the Global Fund for Children this summer." I said, "Okay." Rebecca Buckwalter-Poza followed up, convinced me, and made it happen. I believe she was your convocation speaker in 2014. Don't be afraid to reach out. And last, NCSSM has prepared you to be comfortable with ambiguity. You have been prepared to relish in the unknown and to take risks. Embrace ambiguity because you will never know what is around the corner. So in closing, I want to end with this. Knowledge is expanding at a record pace, and this next generation, your generation, will be pioneers in this expansion. Technological advances will continue exponentially and continue to revolutionize our ability to communicate, to bridge once gaping social and cultural differences, or to gather the most complex or expansive information instantly. Cures will be found for what other generations saw as intractable diseases, cancer, AIDS, and genetic abnormalities. We will catch brighter and fuller glimpses of the edges of our universe and sniff the borders of other galaxies. The day-to-day world we live in will look much different 30 years from now than it does today, and you all have the opportunity to play a role in setting the pace of these changes. However, I want to leave you with my belief that none of what we do is for ourselves alone, and that the purpose of all knowledge is the betterment of the human condition. Those of you who today are celebrating the splendid NCSSM education you have received have an obligation to use what you have learned as broadly as possible. I urge you to keep your eyes, your hearts, your minds open to what is truly around you. Whatever we learn, whatever we know, is only valuable as far as it improves our collective well-being and helps define a more productive, peaceful, and inclusive future. We recognize more than what you've already done. We recognize, too, those wonderful, unforeseeable things that lie ahead, the accomplishments yet to be reached, and possibly yet to be dreamed. Congratulations again to all of you, and my very best wishes as you go forward now to make the world a better place. Godspeed and God bless.
Again, I'd like to thank Maya for taking time to be with us and present her with a gift, which happened to be made in our fabrication lab. And she's had a busy week, as you may have seen. The Center for the Society for Science in the Public just received a $100 million commitment this week to support their work going forward. So she's had a busy week, and thank you for being here. Williams, I present to you the class of 2016. Awarding their diploma signifies that they have completed all of the requirements for graduation as set forth by the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics Board of Trustees.
Dr. Roberts, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and this school, which serves the people of North Carolina, I enthusiastically accept your recommendation and authorize the presentations of these precious diplomas.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
As we would like to appropriately and respectfully honor all of these extraordinary graduates as they accept their diplomas, if you would, please hold your applause and any individual display of support, however unique and exuberant that it might be, until the last diploma has been presented. Thank you very much.
Liana Abella. Claudia Patricia Aiello. Vikram Ikat. Sophia Bashir Ali. Julio Artyom Amosa. Carly Sapeta Andreessen. Kimberly Sapeta Andreessen. Esosa Gloria Asimota. I am so sorry. Rebecca, right? Rebecca Grace Alderson. She deserved that. Ruth Ellen May Alexander. Lori Caitlin Namju Bab. Something is wrong. This is my list. Oh, when we came, okay. Titilola Oluwadara Babatunde. Michaela Ray Barnes. Lauren Victoria Barnhill. Emma Grace Bartlett. Rebecca Louise Beasley. Liam Willis Becker. R. June Bott. Megan Elizabeth Bisignani. Hannah Grace Black. Daniel Bortolucci. Jackson Seth Bastian. Xavier Leopold Boudreau. Adam Lynn Bowker. Caroline Mannery Boyce. Tyler Jordan Bowes. Back to Caroline Mannery Boyce. Megan Amy Brickner. Jackson Allen Briones. Zachary William Brotherton. Margaret Amanda Bruff. Lindsay Shaw Bunch. Ian Kendall Bunner. Lakin Alyssa Cahill. Hannah Faith Callahan. Dasha Marquis Callender. Colette Laura Camby. Dominic John Carbone III. William Robert Carpenter. Caleb Henry Reynolds Caton. Joshua Chabeda. Jody Lewin Chan. James Emery Chapman III. Don Christian Chavis. Joseph Christopher Chan. Ryan Chen. Sam Guo Chen. Sharon J. Chen. Peter Cheng. Sophia M. Chezakova. Marcus Hans Christensen. Mary Kathleen Christopher. Francisco Gabriel Koch. Marjorie Ann Cole. Rebecca Madeline Colonies. Nathan Tyler Rob Comer Jr. Caleb Andrew Cox. Daniel Jake Craddock. Emily Ann Crook. Alisa Fonchuen Shui. Tejas Sanjeev Dalvi. Benjamin Antonio Decker. Samed Delic. Karishma Rohith Desai. Nimit K. Desai. Delane Faith Dixon. Rosalind Anna Marie DeMello. Grace Nay Ayakor Dodu. Alina Tersiety Arlick. Isabel Sophie Elsner. Lauren Kimberly Emer. Did I miss Frank? Frank William Duval III. What is wrong? They're out of order. Lauren Kimberly Emer. Jose Daniel Espithia. Madison Page Fairbanks. Chloe Lynn Fang. Anna Grace Farlashost. Benjamin Blake Fawcett. Bailey Catherine Finsky. Daniel John Ferguson. Robert Jacob Fisher. Joshua Samuel Vilhiliana Francisco. Kanzada Faye Friday. Kendall Madison Futrell. Donis Gandathar Jonathan Chandler Gay. Brendan Thomas Geideman. Lauren Grace Gilbert. Seth James Goodnight. Rachel Lauren Gobachon. Alexander Jacob Gorin. Ryan Allen Gottberg. Corinne Leah Greenblatt. Jordan Alex Greenert. Emily Dale Greenwood. Heaven Lee Griffin. Alex Camille Griffith. Lauren Rose Gullett. Annalise Catherine Gunmere. Anjali Gupta. Gabriella Aaron Hall. Joshua Ryan Harris. Oh, what? Is that another one missed? Is that Guthrie? Which one missed? I'm so sorry. Something is wrong with this order. Which one? William Bruce Guthrie. M. Lenore Harrison. Noah Stephen Haskell. Anna Lauren Haddle. Benjamin Richard Hayden. Jeffrey Guo He. Perry Elizabeth Healy. Alyssa Lynn Hines. Cameron Reed Herrera. Kolowole Philip Hayward Rotimi. Andy Lynn Hong. Spencer Montgomery Hoffman Edminster. Ratana Shinice Holman. Chapman Holland. Chapman Holland. Seth Robert Hollinsworth. Blair Conrad Holler. Annabelle Riley Holman. Austin Lee Holmes. Allison Delaney Hopkins. Sophia Hu. Adrian Huang. Rose Huang. Julia Wesa. Madeline Anna Hunt. Layden James Hutchins. Ayakunle Olutade Ilusami. Adila Takiya Islam. Mari Kirk Jackson. Marinaj Reddy Janapali. Jingjing Lee Jacobson. Kevin Alexis Jarman II. Rowan Christian James. Emila Eve Jeffries. Suk Wong Jiang. Colin Graham Johnson. William August Wagner Jordan. Colleen Velma Kelly. William Francis Kinney. Raphael Changon Kim. Dylan Amos King. Which one? Oh, he wasn't here. He's in we have several graduates who are not here, and they're in competition, so that's a little bit of the problem, and I'm a little bit of the problem. Cole Michael Kirkpatrick. Michael Daniel Kosea. Fania Rimanova Kozareva. Joshua Eric Kraus. Jonathan Kendrick Quo. Richard Lang. Mary Grace Joy Larson. Kevin Robert Larson. Chung Lam Lau. Jian Wu Lee. Tesu Daniel Lee. Amanda Lynn Lee. Catherine Lee. Jennifer Monica Lin. Yushen Liu. Cameron Haley Locklear. Kunal Mayur Ladaya.
Seisun Kierth, Maka. Taylor Nicole Manthe. Simon Edward Marland. Grace Amelia Marshall. Chandler Jones Martin. Hunter Mayo. Christine Adele McDowell. Celeste Margarita McFarland. Alyssa Marie McInnes. Daniel James McElhenney III. Monica Mukhtar Miharib. Adonis Omar Menendez Nunez. Stephanie Maria Manton. Carrington Ann Metz. Mark Andrew Miller. Dylan Reed Milson. Tyler J. Minor. Robert Alexander Mitchell. Tanya Priya Mittal. Megan Annie Mumau. Edwin Belton Moore. Sarah Elizabeth Morrow. Taryn McKaylee Moyer. Erica Lorraine Mullis. Samuel Allen Murray. Jacob Cody Nakarado. Vishu Karit Nayak. Yishwinth Naula. Hyung Nam. Julie Nguyen. Melissa Ann Nai. Modesty Afosa Abasahan. Risper Oching. Donovan Tara Christine O'Daniel. Ayomide Rebecca Ojibobo. William Casimir Olias. Sean Thomas O'Mahony. Mary Kathleen O'Neill. Sehun Park. Akti Ashok Patel. Prathmesh Jayesh Patel. Rima Vinay Patel. Shreya Sanjay Patel. Teju Patwarden. Randolph Eugene Paul II. Matthew Lee Pendleton. Sarah Nicole Phipps. John Reynolds Peeler. Emily Faith Pierce. Ricardo Luis Pajol. Austin Quinn Presley. Kaylin Michelle Price. Viva Puri. Morgan Purtle. Anya Quinnen. Taylor Joan Nicole Quiones. Emma Caroline Rayleigh. Nidarshan Ramesh. Vineet Ranjan. Suhas Rayo. Paul Christopher Reese. Lasya Priya Ranganathan. John Page Revelle III. Jacob Arthur Richter. John Parker Rickabaugh. John Durant Robertson. Alexander Thomas Rodriguez. Chase Harris Roycroft. Raven Hunter Mihanapua Hearth Rusk. Shunmo Rain. Hei In Ru. Eric Ramon Salgado. Brenda Sarathi. Morali Munohar Saravanan. Justin Savage. Max Schlanker. Adam James Schmidt. Anna Olivia Scotton. Madeline Page Siegel. Eric Thomas Seiler. Allison McNair Siemens. Deepika Sentul. Matthew Song. Anna Elizabeth Serenius. Marcy Reese Sessions. Elizabeth L. Sheely. Natalie Claire Sherman Jollis. Corey Shim. Philip Lawrence Sink. Andrew Jacob Spencer. Lauren Elizabeth Sprouse. Aviana Danae Spruill. Sarah McLeod Stevens. Taylor Annie Stevens. Sydney Marie Stewart. Dignon Sue. Kelly Marie Sudall. Michelle Tong Sun. Rishi Sunkar Sundarasan. Annie Nay Tang. Christopher Hal Terry. Emily Michelle Thomas. Sarah Grace Thompson. Ashley Brooke Thrasher. Salma Cheyenne Torres Rivera. Cara Elizabeth Towery. Sophia Traore. God-give Nanaya Umozariki. Alexander Kim Ung. Bhakti Vuhuwala. Evan James Vitkus. Austin Robert Von Alton. Cheryl Arcadia Wang. Amanda Eileen Warren. Devin Gray Warren. Jacqueline Lee Warren. John Wilson Waters. Jordan Montana Wells. Bobby Sharday Whitaker. Elizabeth Ann Williams. Gabriella Grace Williams. Kendall Danielle Williams. Catherine Michelle Wilson. Joseph Howard Wiswell. Kier Vanessa Witherspoon. James Lennon Wood. Thomas Cooper Wright. Jade Chin Wu. Sarah Ensing Wu. Annie Sheehan. Jaquan Shing. Ashley Yang. Colleen Yang. Jennifer Yang. Catherine Shulin Yang. Michael Lee Yang. Jessica Yao. Sunwoo Yim. Seth Jaehoon Yuk. Sarah Shinyi Yuan. Madison Lee Zemer. Robert Luke Zeller. Sashing Zhang. Justin Mingjing Zhang. Kelly Zhang. Lawrence Zhang. Matthew D. Song. Charles Winky Zhu. Edward Tiger Drong. Jennifer Zhao.
Let's give another big round of applause for the class of 2016. I want to again thank Maya, Ajmera, all of our families and friends who are here, our faculty and staff, members of our Board of Trustees, Foundation Board, Alumni Board, and Parent Association, for all being here to honor this year's graduating class, the class of 2016. It's about that time, the time to leave Watts Lawn for the first time as alumni of the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. I hope that as you go forward throughout the years to come, you'll remember the opportunity given to you these past 2 years by this great state and through the support of the many alumni who've come before you. Remember your responsibility as the 34 classes before you have to ensure that future generations of North Carolinians have the same or even greater opportunities that you've had. It's been a great day celebrating you and a wonderful 2 years. As you leave NCSSM, take with you your friendships and your memories, your great intellect and your passion, and your ability and desire to make those around you better than they would have been otherwise. And finally, as we close today, I'd like to leave you with these words from Theodore Seuss Geisel. Don't be sad that it's over. Smile because it happened. Thank you. So if we could all please stand to honor the graduates of the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, the class of 2016, as they recess. You're all invited after they recess to the commencement reception hosted by the NCSSM Parents Association, which will be on Bryan Lawn over there. So again, congratulations, class of 2016.